Hello and welcome to Nexomon, dear viewer. We are on iOS with me, Jelanon. And today, we're going to attempt the final boss battle again. Why? Well, thanks to that Super XP multiplexer, it took maybe half an hour to get everybody to level 50. If I was being smart, I'd try to get everybody to over 300 health. That way they could probably survive one of Omnicron's attacks, maybe? But yeah, I'm not going to do that, because I'm going to be dumb. Anyway, also I just wanted to see what kind of the lowest level you could possibly achieve victory is at. A little bit. But I'm not going to try too hard to do that. So if I fail this time, you may never see this, but we'll see. So, getting to level 50 for most Nexomon will unlock their ultimate elemental attack. So for Prismasaur, he has Thorn Pit. We're also going to go with Poison and Binding and just a normal attack, just in case. For Voltasphere, we're going to try to make it harder to hit. Maybe get some paralysis on our foes. Also decrease their accuracy. And use EMP. That's pretty much the gist right there. For anybody that we're very effective against, it should only take 5 ultimate attacks to take them down. So that is something else to keep in mind. For the skills to pay the bills, Fetadoom has once again Explosion and Stuff, Energy Blast. We're going to try to block accuracy. I decided not to even try for defense because Fetadoom, not very good defending. Solar Flare is his final. Chromatize, level 60. One of our few that are above 60. I'm trying to go with Confusion, making it harder to hit. Good, powerful attacks. Beat 'em. Beat 'em doesn't really have good status effects. We do have Sleep, so there's that. Maybe one time you can block an attack by it not being able to attack. We also have Curl, which is probably going to be good on Beat 'em because he does have the ability to have good defense. Whereas Elemental Drain, I'm still not sure how good that would be, so I'm not really using it. And we'll go with Tidal Rage. And Mistralian, we've got some pretty decent attacks, but we kind of have to depend on Turbulent Toss in order to try to get Confusion off. So I'm trying to go for the status effects here because these battles will last longer than one hit. I mean, if I faced the proper Nexomon with the elemental disadvantage, in reality, even at level 60, you can take him out in one hit with your ultimate attacks. That is one thing I really appreciate about this game, is until you reach a certain level where you get a good enough attack, you can't really one-hit KO opponents. So that is, I think, a good design choice. Regardless, I'm going to wander back to Ron's shop, and we're going to use our sweet, sweet gold that we farmed up, or credits, or whatever we want to call them, in order to buy stuff. Now, all things being equal, Revive equals max revive against Omnicron. So really, to save some money and time, I'm going to invest more heavily in revives. I'm going to get 12. We have 5 already of the max revives, 7 of the super revives, so I'm not going to worry about those. Elixirs, on the other hand, could be pretty great. We have 19, so we don't need to buy any. Max Ether could also be pretty great, because we are going to need stuff. So basically, the plan is revive and use elixirs, and try to get those to work. Of course, that takes 2 turns, and Omnicron can kill us in 1. You do the math, it doesn't work out very well for us, but we'll try. I also want to pick up a few Nexo traps, because I did see Jita on that top floor, and Jita is the lightning version of Beat 'em, basically. You know, one of the starters, one of the special Nexomon. There's also a Weavolt, which looks pretty fun. But yeah. So we'll head back up the tower, and I'll see you up there, dear viewer. By the way, all the people that you beat up and or were beaten up on your journey do remain. We will see Remus and our good friend Ivan as well. And they'll be, you know, they'll be like, oh no, you've got to go stop the other champions, and the overseers are all trying to help you. Anyway, just thought you may find that interesting. Alright, dear viewer, we're pretty much at that final floor again. Prismasaur got a little bit beat up in the process, so I did not waste any items on him because all I really have to do is wait for him to level up again. Then he'll heal, like that. And anybody else I used, same thing, you know. With the XP multiplexer, you can put them in the back, they'll still get XP, and they can level up as you're going. Alright, so we're going to face Fauna first. So we're going to swap to beat him. We're going to save our game. And then we're going to do our best to be put to the test. And yeah. It's almost time to die. For someone else, we're gonna run. Attempting to run. Ooh yeah. Check out our sweet moves. Okay. Juked. Onwards we go. Sorry, I thought that was the final floor. Yeah, it's been a while. But Zeta was really cool when he transformed. To Lux the Lightning. Since we're not quite there yet, we're gonna switch back to Prismasaur. Yes, ignore my mistakes. Learn from them. Actually, just learn from them. Oh, Monolix. I haven't caught this one yet. Do I attempt to capture? Or do we take it down? Well, let's use Thorn Pit. And that shows you, it does around 200 damage to something it's not very effective against. To something it does about 100 more damage. So, generally speaking, Omnicron should take at least 7 hits to defeat with our ultimate attacks. So, hopefully we can just do a rotation and get stuff done. So, right, let's swap again. And that is enough stuff that I'm actually going to use an Ether on my Prismasaur. And Fetadoom, you know what? We'll use it on you as well. I need you guys in tip-top shape for this. We're going to save again, because you can never save enough. And onward. Alright. Okay, once again, I miscalculated. Okay, Beatum is in front, right? Right. You may be able to tell that I am slightly nervous about this attempt. So... apparently we're not going to see Malk again. It's kinda nice. No! Deja vu! Seriously, the last one was just a bad dream. Like at the beginning of the game. You know? I mean, this totally didn't happen yet. Yeah. Maybe time travel? Maybe... yeah. I don't know, Nexomon. Why are your ears so pointy? I wonder. And why don't you transform into a champion and fight me? Fight me. Just me. None of this Omnicron business. You don't need to bring your dad into this. Actually, I probably should bring my dad into this. He has super science powers. Like Ellie. I feel like we miscalculated somewhere in this. Why don't we just get a giant railgun or something and snipe Omnicron from the top of the tower? Really hard to dodge something that's going at light speed. Just saying. Well, on the bright side, we have a really cool battle ahead. Boss rush! Alright. So once again, this is more of an endurance test than it is, say, my Nexomon are better. No, they're not. Because they're not bosses with 1600 health. Cheaters. No. So yeah, we're just skipping all the cutscene stuff. Sort of. Rawr. Time to face down Omnicron. Father of the Nexomon. Apparently. Lord of the Nexomon. That's what he prefers to be called. Okay, you know. Seems like he may have a wee bit of an ego. Just saying. You know. I mean, he technically has no weaknesses, because he's an old type, but Yeah. Okay then. Let's get ready to face down Fona again. The phony. Phony pony? Is he a pony? I think he looks more like a dog. Thanks to that snout at the end. Anyway, we could try to put him to sleep. I think that just wastes time. So we're going to use Tidal Rage. Since Beat'em doesn't have too much good stuff in terms of actually dodging damage and stuff, we're just going to deal damage like none other. That should be great. Okay. So we're doing 300-ish. Beat'em is not an attacker type, so that makes sense. Much as I'd rather we just win. But, well. Hopefully, yep, okay. So good, we survived enough that we can, in fact, use an elixir. So we will. That way we get all of our stamina back as well, so we prepare for the next fight. And we're going to use Tidal Rage. There we go. So good. We took down Fona. He actually gave less XP than some of the level 67. Yeah, and it looks like it is dependent upon level for XP rather than rarity. Rarity does not seem to affect it. So if you can find a good common area, then yeah, just beat him up. So Prismasaur was great for the top floors because there were a lot of electric types or lightning types. And he is not an electric type. So good, we're starting with Beat'em again. I'm going to try to put them to sleep. Oh, sleep Arpa. Okay. And that is why I don't like stem specs. Okay. Oh well. We're going to switch to Voltosphere. Not as effective, you know. We're going to use Dust Cloud just in case that's actually useful. Huh. Not useful. What was I expecting here? Okay, well we're going to heal. Let's use a super potion. Alright. Okay, and that poison's still affecting us. I'm going to try to use Swift Burst again. Hopefully that makes us harder to hit too. Nice. So we decreased accuracy, made ourselves harder to hit. Now we can just try to paralyze her and stuff. But, okay. EMP. I tire of these games, Aqua. Okay. We're gonna keep firing off the EMP lasers. And then we're gonna heal Beat'em, and then we'll heal Voltosphere, depending on who needs it first. Maybe Voltosphere then. Yeah. Aha. So this has been a good combo, it looks like. Okay. I can appreciate this. I do not appreciate that. But I can appreciate this tactic. When it works in a large, prolonged battle. Right, we want... No, where's my elixirs? There you go. Yoink. That's right, Aqua. You did nothing to me. Okay. And now... Beat'em. It's time to get your HP back. Booyah. Okay. And then we can take out Aqua. Aw. Okay, didn't deal that much damage. I'm okay with this. We're going to use EMP to finish this. I guess we pretty much have to. Alright. And Fetadoom leveled up! Yay! You know, I could have tried to wait for Beat'em to level up and just not used any items on him. That's another strat. That's probably a little unreliable, but hey, you know. If you can do it, do it. Me, I don't trust myself to be that on top of my game while I'm commentating. And even when I'm not commentating, for that matter. So, yeah. Okay, wind shouldn't be super effective. Let's try to put it to sleep. Did that work? It did work. Sweet. Okay. Now we're going to go back to Voltosphere, or to Fetadoom. I think Voltosphere has the better combo for not getting hit. Doom is just going to stand there and take damage, basically. So, let's make ourselves faster and harder to hit. Then we'll try to decrease accuracy. There we go. Dust cloud. Okay, so hopefully this will work well. We can try to paralyze first, just in case. Doesn't look like we're gonna. So, let's get back to the max potions. Actually, we only really need a super potion, right? No, we need the max. To the max. Okay. Storm, Earth, Fire. Very well. Now we'll use a super potion. Okay. Good, yes. We'll use EMP. If we need to try to use Static Shock in the future, we have it in our background pocket. You know, the pocket in the background that no one else can see. Yeah, that's right, that tree actually holds items, just like in the game. Oh, which reminds me, I did see an item I missed, an exo trap in a barrel, and one of the screens leading up to the tower. So, yeah, that was a thing. Aw, hit. Okay. Well, on the bright side, that means we can use an elixir without any, like, bad misuse of inefficiency, blah, 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 brain. Okay. Yeah, it's efficient to use an elixir. That's right. You're welcome, brain. Thank you for working. Okay. Onward. Should be Zeta. Right? Lux of the Lightning. Lux's Lightning. There we go. Okay, Luxa. Who do I have that's good against you? Prismasaur. That's right. Probably my best boss killer, if I think about it, because all his attacks are attacks and can do stuff to the boss. I think Prismasaur is probably my best boss killer. But Voltasphere did really good. I am very impressed by that. So we're going to try to bind with Vine Attack first. It's probably not going to work, because let's face it, how often has it worked? We're going to try to poison, because why not? And that didn't work either. And now I am left. I am kind of mad. Okay, let's use Max Potion on Prismasaur. I probably should have picked up more Max Potions too. Ah, good dodge, Prismasaur. We're just going to go for damage now. Thorn Pit. You could have had a much nicer time, Luxa, but no. Now we're going to just have to speed this up, and you're going to be upset. And so am I. Because we could have done really cool stats effects and stuff, but no, we're just going to speed it up, and everybody's going to be like, oh man, we didn't get to see how much poison does to something at full health. And I'll be like, you know, Luxa just didn't want to play nice. But oh well. Then I'll elixir up Prismasaur. And then I'm just debating if we can get away with Poisonous Ivy, and I think we could. But technically Thorn Pit. Okay, we're just going to secure the KO. Like, technically, because it's 11 instead of 10, it would take as much stamina away from us from being able to use a future Thorn Pit as a Thorn Pit. That's the math in my head. Yep. Sometimes math. My own brethren, why do you forsake your king? Why have you chosen this rat as your master? We are the true rulers of this world. We are meant to conquer this land. Nah. We're meant to chill, bro. Yeah. I mean, why don't we eat popcorn or something? Watch a movie. But apparently, no. Gotta get all rage face. Okay, Omicron. We can do this, right? Voltasphere is probably my best bet for surviving. That's going to be very dependent upon stuff. So we're just going to try to deal damage for now. Because he's got 3,000 health. Okay, I survived that. Nice. So it'll take at least 15 attacks if we're only doing 200 each. For some reason I was thinking he had 1,600 health in the back of my brain. Beat him seems to be actually pretty good type. for beating up Omnicron, as long as he doesn't use a lightning attack. Which I'm sure he will use next. Yep, okay. Wasted! Okay, what to do next? I think we will go Voltasphere. We're going to try this out. And I think we're going to buff ourselves, because that's more likely to hit, it might be. I don't know if that makes sense. Oh my goodness, no. Okay, yep. So that's the problem with the Voltasphere strat. We're going to go Mistralian, because Mistralian will survive. At least one hit, I think, unless Meteor Rain hits, then never mind. Okay. You know what? We are going to use a max revive on Beatum, because for him, if Omnicron goes through his various attacks, then at least 2 of them won't do 200 damage to him. So a max revive is actually worth it on Beatum, I think. We're going to try to get Confusion off, because we're doing pretty good damage regardless. Okay, well, that was Solar Flare. So I think Mistralian and Beatum we can actually use max revive, and it's worth it. Okay. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. Once again, I'm not going to use a max potion then, because it's worthless at the moment. Because he'll do something that's super effective. Okay. So Fetitude, I'm going to send you out, and we're going to use you as a sacrifice, which kind of bites, because you probably have the highest attack out of everybody. So we're going to use a max revive on Australian. And well, if you survive this Fetitude, we'll try to use another max revive. There we go. Okay. So yeah, it looks like around the 50s is when you could try to do this effectively. Okay, so he just used Solar Flare. I think he's going to rotate to something else. So we're going to try Mistralian. And we'll just use our super attack, Heavy Monsoon. 275, that's good damage. Okay, well, yeah, we kind of expected that, but hoped for the best. Let's try Chromatize, because hopefully, once again, he's going to rotate to something that won't actually do much to us. We're going to Swift Burst, just to hope. Oh my goodness, he went back. Okay. So no, he does not seem to just rotate, like a true person should. But AI, you are against me. Australian. Hopefully we survive this. No, we won't. Okay, now we are in the death spiral. Prismazor, I need you. Let's use Vine Attack. Hope we get lucky. No. Okay. Oh my goodness, no. Just enough damage. Okay. Well, we're probably going to lose now. Okay. Well, let's use our little revives. Come on, beat him. And we'll try Voltasphere. Man. Well, we got him down to half health. That's pretty good. Yeah, there's pretty much no way to win from here, so I'm just going to attack. So it looks like we may need everybody in the 60s to just survive Omnicron. That's interesting to me. We'll load our checkpoint, so hopefully we have all our items still. Do I have all my items? Items, please. Looks like it. No. We lost elixirs. Man! Okay. So that is one thing I don't like, is it seems like there's pretty much... Is there a way? I'm going to exit the app and re-enter and see if I can get my stuff back. Alright, dear viewer, it looks like even exiting the app doesn't matter because the game auto-saves. So that is for your benefit. And for me, well, I'm going to have to grind out some more levels and coins and items. So I'll catch you next time, dear viewer. And hopefully it will actually be the final battle. Or we'll do PvP for a bit if I can't seem to beat the boss again. So, yeah. Have a great day.